So we're doing our last segment here on the Gorilla Gang podcast for Sunday. Well, it's always Sunday, but our last segment, and one of the topics we got on Facebook was talk about health, fitness, nutrition, not necessarily gym, but more fitness and gym related. I actually had to take notes because my phone is here, so I don't have it, so I had to write it down. First part was tips for beach season. That would depend. I can't really talk about what's up, Chelsea. I can't really talk about beach season or what you would do because that's dependent on the person. Obviously, I think stereotypically what people do for the beach is guys do a lot of bench pressing and curls, and that is about it. and go to the beach so their arms and their chest look big, and that's about it. And it looks weird because those are the guys with skinny little legs like this tripod, and their upper body looks like the mic. But
I will say, because I just got back in the gym recently, and I will say at this advanced stage, if you will, that it feels oh boy, 4 years different.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Anyway,
when I was 4, you were nothing.
It feels actually I was in my mom's stomach when you was 4. There you go. But getting back in the gym, it's been kind of rough for me, especially the first start, man. Like those muscles ripping again, was horrible, man. Like couldn't move for a couple days, like really move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure, for sure.
Raising my hand to, even
go
scratch
your
under
head
pits and wash your
yes.
underarms. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. But I'm starting to get into the routine of it. I feel a lot better going there. I don't like missing time out at the gym now. I take my little shower at the gym after I'm done working out, and that makes me feel a little bit better. Even though I'm still sore, right. It makes me feel a little bit better. It's you got to have your mindset that you got to do that. You got to become obsessed with it, honestly, if you're looking for results.
Or you have to understand, right? Like, people don't understand that pain it's not actually pain. It's your muscle fibers that you've never used ripping. And the act of your muscle fibers ripping and then repairing is what makes your muscle fibers stronger, which is why you get stronger as you go on. And it's a good 2-3 week process where you're tearing those muscle fibers and you're in that much pain. Mm-hmm. Every time you work out, you're essentially ripping muscle fibers and they're coming back together, and the pain is less and less the more you go on. So if you take a break, for example, and then you come back, it's going to hurt again. If you come back, it's going to hurt again. And then the next week, it's going to get easier and easier and easier. And I think I have a YouTube video about anytime you start something new, it's going to be really, really hard. It just is.
Yeah.
But, and this is what he says, and I love this, and I would listen to this every day if I could. Anytime you start something new, it's going to be really fucking hard. But the more you keep going, the easier it becomes. And he says this in the video. Here's the fucked up thing. Most people quit right before it gets easier. Right before it gets fun. So I say that to say the pain becomes less. Things become easier. If you've ever been somebody that was consistent in the gym, the workouts become easier. The workouts become you can do this in the gym and bounce around versus you're holding on to the machine and you're struggling. It gets so much easier once you get used to it. The reason why it sucks so bad is because you haven't used those muscles in either a long time or ever. So I think that's the big thing is the consistency, and that this whole segment is going to be all about consistency the whole way down. Most of these questions are consistency is the answer to most of this stuff.
And speaking about the gym, I just saw this video on YouTube. It's a kettlebell exercise. I've never really dealt with a kettlebell.
I don't like
before.
kettlebells, but
You know what? I don't mind it now. And you know, when I first went to do the exercise, I was worried about dropping it on my foot or something crazy like that. But this exercise is supposed to supposedly help you with punching power. And you know, basically what you're doing is a regular kettle exercise where you go between the legs. Then the next one you switch arms and midair. And then,
it's just kettlebell swings.
oh, okay, got you. Well, you know, I don't like I said.
Yeah, they're just kettlebell
experience
swings.
But I enjoy doing it, man. It's kind of fun, honestly. You know,
So I don't like them, and a lot of the reason, which some people might not know, and here's a good tip, just for some people. So a lot of people have wrist problems when they're lifting because I don't know how much you can see, but my hands aren't flat naturally. Like this hurts
Right.
to have my hands flat. So my hands are naturally on an angle. This is comfortable for me.
right.
So a lot of people try that straight bar and they're doing this, which is painful because you don't have that range of motion. For some reason, I just don't have a range of motion to do that. So this is comfortable. So I see a kid in the gym. I guess he's a basketball player, but he uses a straight bar, and after every set, he's like, and I'm like, and I should, because I'm the old head, should be like, look, man, go get the easy curl bar. It's the same thing. It's just going to take it easy on your wrist. And, you know, it just is. And I definitely should, because he does not. And that's the thing, from the training center, which is the best gym in Delaware, the training center. I don't care about Edge. I don't care about any. The training center is the best gym in Delaware.
I
Period.
agree. I agree with you.
So now I go to Planet Fitness, and the only reason I go to Planet Fitness is, number one, I don't need to lift
Oh, okay.
200-pound dumbbells anymore. I'm 45. But that's not really it. The real reason is Planet Fitness is walkable. I can walk to that Planet Fitness in probably about 10 minutes.
I'm at Planet Fitness for the price.
And that's why I go there.
I don't care what he say. I'm there for the price. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But I mean, I paid $19.99 for Planet Fitness. The training center is $24.
Yeah,
Not
it's
that
not
much.
Yeah, it's not that.
It's the fact that I can walk there. But again,
Fred said you should tell him. And you know, it's funny.
I
I
agree.
was going to say to you,
I agree with him, because here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. So I see him twice now. I took Carter there the one day. Carter wanted to go for his birthday, and I saw the kid there. And then I went last week, and he should be doing, let me back up. He's trying to do forearm reverse curls.
Oh, okay.
But this is what he's doing. He's got the bar here, and he's going like this.
Right.
Which is not what his intention is doing. So he's right. I should tell him, but outside the podcast, I am a quiet, shy guy, and I'm just like, well, whatever. And I would feel like I don't want to be that dude. And for all Planet Fitness's no judgment bullshit,
Yeah.
me, I feel like I get judged when I'm in there because of my size. You know, the sign on the wall, lunk alarm, drinking out of a gallon. What the hell does drinking out of a gallon jug have to do with what does wearing a tank top? I have worked out for.
What does talking about Dwayne Wade's son get you banned from Planet Fitness for? That's a whole nother issue. We'll talk about that.
I have worn sandals, Nike sandals, Jordan, whatever, to the gym for 20 years at the training center. Right. There's videos of me shoulder shrugging 800 pounds in sandals. Like, I've always worn sandals. I wasn't trying to be cool. I don't like wearing shoes.
Right.
So I don't like being told what I can and can't wear. Like, guys can't wear, I think it's like string tank tops.
String tank tops, yeah.
But girls can have on a sports bra. Like, it's not a judgment-free zone. It's a selective judgment-free zone. And that bothers me. But, you know, it's convenient for me right now. It's convenient for me because I can walk there. Yeah. That's literally all it is.
And the guest thing is a good thing for me too.
My son can go whenever. Right. So, I mean, it is what it is. fads versus facts. So this is about diets, dieting and nutrition. I would say every diet is a fad. There's no getting around every diet being a fad. They're all fads. Keto's a fad. Low carb's a fad. Atkins is a fad. The newest fad, there's paleo, Mediterranean, which is actually scientifically Mediterranean is the healthiest of all the fad diets. There is carnivore. There's carnivore keto. I'm gonna say vegetarian is a fad. Ever since that Game Changers documentary came out, people have been convinced vegetarian is the way to go. Plant based, it's not true. It's not true at all. There's oxalates in which is a chemical. There's oxalates in those vegetables. There are when you do vegetarian, you're eating a lot of soy. Soy promotes estrogen. So for men, you're promoting estrogen, which obviously you don't want. You get man boobs, all that type of stuff.
Well, I heard the same thing.
It lowers your testosterone.
Heard the same thing.
Yes,
With
tofu has because of soy.
Oh, okay.
It lowers your testosterone, all that stuff. And after 40, as men, we lose 1% of your body's testosterone every year. So as older men, you want to increase your testosterone versus losing it. So plant-based, here's what I'll say about plant-based. If you go to Acme or whatever grocery store and you buy a Beyond Burger or whatever one of those burgers, look on the back of that and look how many ingredients that has. Then buy a regular burger and tell me how many ingredients it has. Spoiler alert. 1. Hamburger has 1 ingredient versus the multitude of ingredients. So if you want to talk health, it's not healthy. It's not healthier. What is unhealthy is the bun. What's unhealthy is the cheese that's on the bun. What's unhealthy is like Chick-fil-A, the butter that they're throwing. Well, the butter's not really, but it's all the extra stuff that's unhealthy on a burger. That's what causes that processed bread. Vegetarian is not healthier than any other diet. It's what's combined with. So you have to restrict that type of stuff. So all those things are fad diets. Like I said, a lot of people are trying plant-based now because of that documentary, and that's literally it. But there's multiple scientific examples on YouTube that debunk that and say that this is not any healthier than any other diet. So, fad diets, if it were me, I would be telling you to change your eating lifestyle versus doing a fad diet.
Yeah, lifestyle change is what I hear all the time.
There are things like you can do carnivore or keto for like 30 days or even plant-based for like 30 days, but long term, it's not sustainable. Long term, what's most sustainable is a balanced diet. You know, having some carbs and your carbs coming from vegetables. So the knock against keto is no carbs. No carb. On keto, your carbs are vegetables. How can you go wrong when your carbs are all vegetables? Leafy green vegetables. Leafy green vegetables, they again, when you're older, my stomach's rumbling. When you're older,
it was your cell phone.
No. When you're older, liver detoxification is one of the spinach, broccoli, asparagus, cauliflower. They detoxify your liver, and your liver is what essentially filters out everything that goes in your body. So, the knock against keto is generally no carbs, or you're not supposed to eat any carbs. Well, it's the type of carbs that you eat. Processed shit, potatoes, bread, sugar. Keto is no sugar. sugar is more addictive than heroin. It's more addictive than almost anything, and you start reducing sugar, you cure diabetes. You're less insulin resistant, which causes you to gain that spare tire around you. So I don't think there's anything wrong with reducing your sugar, and I know there's a lot of sugar substitutes, but that's a different video. I can go in and say what sugar substitutes are the good ones, and the bad ones. There are some that you want to stay away from, but still, a sugar substitute is still probably better than pure sugar at this point.
I heard somewhere that it really is like a changing of a chemical that makes it supposedly what's the word I'm looking for? Makes it not sugar, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah, it's all a chemical process, and the whole point of it is to eliminate all of it. So you don't want sugar, because even sugar is bleached, right? Like sugar, flour, rice is bleached, all that stuff. So there's always bread. So there's always a chemical process in that. And what you're trying to, if you really want to be healthy, you want to eliminate the chemical processes and all this stuff. So, I mean, eating rice is better than eating a bowl of potato chips, obviously, so it's all on what you do. And yeah, you can have treats and do this and that, but I think if you consider it a fad diet and not a lifestyle change, that's where you're losing before you start. Like, you either do it or you don't.
Right.
That's the way it is.
Well, diets have always been the struggle for me because, I like to eat, you know what I mean? And then, you got to think about it, and at least my parents, I can't speak for most parents, man. My dad was from Arkansas, so I got a lot of that down south style of cooking, and my mom's parents were from down south. You know what I mean? So yeah, barbecue, lard, greens with the ham hocks, it's a bunch of different stuff. Sausage greens.
But see, even with that, so just that alone, ham hocks, perfect. Fat, protein. The greens, the leafy green vegetables. Can't go wrong with that.
Right.
All you do is essentially you're boiling them in water. You're not throwing a whole bunch of shit in it.
Yeah, they were. That's what I'm saying.
But I mean, you're not like throwing a whole bunch of sugar. You might be putting some salt in there.
Yeah, salt. Yeah, all
some
kind of
peppers.
Right.
Some of the seasonings aren't that great, but if all the ingredients are seasonings, it's not the best all the time, but it's also not the worst because you need salt. It depends, like the kind of salt you're using matters. Like salt is also one of those bleach products, right? So if you're getting pink Himalayan salt, if you're getting sea salt, that's the type of salt that you want in your foods.
Right.
That shit is healthy for you.
Right.
That whole myth about salt being bad for you, no, it's certain types of salt.
Aaron Patrice,
So
what's going on?
So yeah, that's a different thing. But yeah, that down south stuff, gravy, that shit's bad for you. But
Oh, sausage gravy was and
I love it. I told you when we talked about it last time.
Yeah, I love it, but that
was the chip beef conversation.
I got two nephews who grew up hating that stuff. I didn't know my oldest brother, hated it.
Oh wow.
I'm like, are you serious? My dad used to go, I hated that stuff, Mark. I'm like, good grief, man. What's wrong with y'all? But it is what it is. It is what it is. Aaron, did you get out to Omen Landing today? And how was that?
Why does this look so big?
How was that G2C, the new one you got? Yeah. But, that's always been the struggle for me, man. Because I like
eating.
Getting in the gym, no problem.
Most people's struggle is the eating part. And that's probably like 80% is diet. 10% is probably commitment, and then 10% is the work you put in the gym. So it's tough, and most people struggle with the diet. Fish and shrimp, so that's more pescatarian.
Yeah, you got any advice on what she said?
What's the whole thing?
She said, I stopped eating meat 3 years ago. I only eat fish and shrimp. My arthritic pain has decreased a lot. However, I am now experiencing not enough protein. My hair is shedding. Any advice on that?
So, I would say up your fats, but up your good fats. Add things like avocado, olive oil, because it sounds like you are lacking collagen. They have collagen supplements that you can take. Because eating meat, eating steak, eating all that stuff, that's what has collagen. So they have powdered collagen. They have collagen pills. I actually have both of them here. But yeah, it sounds like a collagen issue. And besides the supplements, like I said, I would increase fats like avocados. If you're like me, I need the perfect avocado. Otherwise, I'll throw it away. If there's any part of brown in the avocado, I throw it away. I just won't eat. So I go to Costco or whatever and get like avocado mash, and just use that. But I would up the fats. It sounds like you're a little protein deficient. So get something that's high in protein, walnuts, pecans, macadamians, or avocados. Try adding what I would say is 30 grams. 30 grams of nuts, or like half an avocado.
This might be a dumb question, but what about protein shakes? Would that help any?
Not a big fan of protein shakes because, again, if you look at the a label on a protein shake, not only is it protein, whey isolate or whatever, but you're going to get probably like 15 other ingredients in there. And ultimately, if you want to be healthy, what you want is to reduce that ingredient list. The less ingredients, the more healthy it's going to be for you. That's just standard. I don't think any nutritionist or bodybuilder or anything will disagree that the less ingredients in something, the better. And protein shakes are chock full of they got flavor in there. They got preservatives in there to make the protein shake last longer, etc. So you want to stay away from any of that shit that has like 3 rows, 4 rows of ingredients and all that stuff. And here's the rub. In America, this isn't a political thing. In America, the healthier foods that we should be eating are the most expensive.
Yep.
Versus we can go to McDonald's and get a shitload of food and it's cheap as hell. We can't get grass-fed beef, which grass-fed beef is amazing for you. You can't get uncured sugar-free bacon. Uncured sugar-free bacon, a pack of that is probably $8.99.
Oh.
Whereas if you catch it right, you can get regular bacon for $3.99. Organic, pasture-raised, which are the best eggs. Organic pasture-raised eggs, and the yolk will be yellow. That's how you know it's a good egg, because the yolk is orange, not yellow. So those eggs are, again...
Hold on, I got confused. You're saying when it's good, it's orange or yellow?
The best type of eggs that have the most nutrients, nutritional value, etc., are orange.
Okay. Gotcha.
Those yellow eggs are just like the regular generic eggs.
Normal, yeah.
Cheap as shit. You bought them. They're cheap as shit.
Right.
But if you get the organic pasture eggs, the yolk is orange. It's going to taste different, number one. And it's going to give you more micronutrients. But again, $7.99 for 12 versus you can probably get 18 for $3.99.
Right.
Just the way it is.
Yeah.
Same with the I have grass-fed ground beef in there. $6.99 a pound versus I can get the regular crappy shit that is like on foam that wrapped in plastic or whatever, and it's like $5.
Right.
But completely different story. So big problem that we have in America at least, is the quality foods. You have to almost get a second job just to afford the quality
Right.
foods,
Right.
and that's a huge problem. Like it just is.
But
I mean, we pay for water. Like most states, and this is something I actually was dating a girl that I didn't even know this was possible. So there are some states where you can harvest rainwater and turn it into drinking water. I think you can here in Delaware, but you got to get a permit. And it's fucking rain coming from the sky. How can you tell me whether or not I can? It's rain. That's like saying I can't eat snow.
right.
It just doesn't make sense. So it tells you that food is like big business here in America. And it's just it's not very hard to determine why we're one of the most unhealthy countries in the world. Somebody else have a question?
No, she was commenting on what you said. Yeah.
So yeah, there's no question why we're the most unhealthy. I mean, our kids are raised on McDonald's, Happy Meals,
Oh, yeah, Happy Meal, yeah.
$5, Happy Meal. And yes, over time they've put apple slices now and Go-Gurt or whatever
Juice.
and juice, but the juice isn't. But
isn't
still,
real
juice
juice.
is full of sugar. Like no matter, I don't care if it's 100% pure juice, it's still full of sugar. And I didn't realize, but my mom, when I was a kid, I was never allowed to have juice. She would take the juice and she would dilute it half and half. I never had real juice until I got to college, and I got it out of the thing in the cafeteria line. I was like, "What the hell is this?" Because I never had real orange juice, real grape juice, or real apple juice, and it was just too much. And to this day, I still don't eat sweets.
Speaking of real grape juice, I didn't have real grape juice, I don't think, until, a later age. I don't know if I was a grown man or not. But in the words of Dave Chappelle, I wanted that purple stuff. So, listen, I kind of grew up on Kool-Aid. I grew up on orange juice that was frozen. You put it in the jug and run water over it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And my mom would do that, but then she always had the apple, like an old apple or orange juice container, and she would she would mix that shit right in half, and then put half water in the other thing. So yeah, Mac, what's up, cuzzo? Jihad baseball.
Yeah, I mean, parents too had to do, what they had to do to keep their kids fed too.
Well, it wasn't that. It was literally she just didn't want us having sugar.
No. I'm not.
Oh
speaking
no,
on you
I
in
get that.
particular,
Yeah. But yeah, my mom was all about sugar, and I used to get made fun of because we had every morning Cheerios and skim milk. They're like, "What the hell, skim milk?" I didn't know what real milk. We always had skim milk.
Listen,
People say, "Why didn't you drink milk?" Because it was tastes like water.
I know my brother Cam here real well, and the stories he tells me about his upbringing, he was prevented or kept away from a lot of different things.